The Philadelphia Eagles are still riding the high of an incredible Week 3 comeback win versus the Rams, but Jalen Hurts has finally shut up all of the remaining criticisms. A.J. Brown dropped a very intriguing quote to the media that you don't want to miss, and most importantly, the Eagles have finally answered the biggest question that they had remaining coming into the season. We'll talk about all of it and more right here on A to Z Philly, but welcome into the show. Happy Victory Monday. Man, does it feel good saying that. I'll tell you what, man, I went to sleep last night, woke up, and I still can't believe that that happened the way that it happened. I mean, quite honestly, here in the Philadelphia area, like Victory Mondays really dictate the mood of people. Like you go outside this morning, you see people, they're juiced up. If they had not won that game, it would be completely different. That's how Philly fans live and die by their sports. But nonetheless, man, there are some things we need to talk about as questions have finally been answered, and we'll get to all that on the offensive side. But I want to start it off by continuing with what I said about Jordan Davis yesterday, because Brian Baldinger put this out. Jordan Davis is obviously the star of yesterday, right? Made the big play, won the game for the Eagles. Talk about running it back 61 yards. I talked about it yesterday saying that that play will be remembered forever in Philly. Incredible comeback. Their biggest comeback since the Miracle at the Meadowlands Part 2 with Deshaun. But nonetheless, Jordan Davis got up to 18.59 miles per hour, which is the fastest ever recorded time for a man over 330 pounds. You got to give it up to Jordan Davis, and I'm sure we'll talk about this later in the year. But in terms of getting paid, I mean, if Davis continues to play this way, the Eagles are going to have some conversations, because we know all the players that have to get their money, right? Jalen Carter, Quinyon, DeJean, etc., Reed Blankenship. Jordan Davis might be in that mix now. So keep your eyes on that. And I want to highlight one thing that I thought was very interesting from Jordan Davis. First off, he has the second most pass rushes on the entire defense. And I mean, this guy's just playing at an all-pro level right now. He has been amazing. But even more intriguing to me is that week number 1, he had 87% of the snaps played. Now, they did have a weather delay, so there was a little bit of time to wait there, right? A little bit out of the ordinary. Week number 2, he ended up playing 53% of the snaps against the Kansas City Chiefs. But yesterday, in week number 3, he ends up playing 68% of the snaps. He also played 43% of the special team snaps and obviously made a big impact there. But my point is that he made this run back on the final play of the game when he was at his most tired. Do you know how crazy it is? And as of right now, Jordan Davis is currently playing 70% of the snaps on defense, which is by far the most of his career. 45 was the highest back in 23. He was absolutely gassed. You want to talk about cardio and conditioning. This guy has taken it to another level. The Eagles defense is 3rd in the NFL in completion percentage allowed, 5th in passer rating allowed. And in the red zone, they have held teams to a 12.5% completion percentage, which is 1st overall, and a 39.6 passer rating, which is also 1st overall. And on 3rd and 4th downs, the Eagles have allowed a 48% completion percentage, which is 2nd. And this is even more mind-boggling when you think about the fact that they have essentially had no offense in the first half of games outside of week 1 for the first couple of drives. And the defense has just been on the field, having to keep them in these games, playing so many snaps and just being out there for a while on these drives. So again, the defense will go under the radar yesterday, but a masterclass by Vic Fangio yet again, proving why he is one of the best coordinators in the NFL. And you remember back in training camp when Zach Baun said that Vic Fangio had this young defense ahead of schedule compared to last year. Well, guess what? He wasn't lying. Because based on what we're seeing already in the first couple weeks of the season, when you're trying to fix and tweak things and, iron it all out, I mean, man, this defense could be the best in the NFL yet again. But I want to flip it over to the offensive side of the ball. And the Eagles have finally answered their biggest question, which we will talk about with Kevin Patullo and all that going on. But for just a minute, I need to rant about Jalen Hurts, okay? Jalen Hurts, and I say this in the best way possible, is an absolute psychopath when it comes to winning. You look at this final play yesterday, everybody's screaming with joy. Sirianni's running down the sideline. Jalen Hurts had a stone cold face when they won that ball game. After the game, he said he knew somebody was going to make a play. Jalen Hurts is now 17-0 in the last 17 games that he has started and finished as Eagles quarterback. Every time that Jalen Hurts is criticized about something, he goes out and proves that person wrong. All of the doubters at this point have been completely shut up. Yesterday, Jalen Hurts completed 7 of 9 passes of 10-plus yards in the air in the second half for 154 yards and 2 touchdowns. Whether it's last year against Pittsburgh, yesterday against the Rams, or any other situation where somebody makes a claim that Jalen can't do something, he goes out and immediately does it. Anytime Jalen needs to take the ball at the end of a game and go make a game-winning play or make a game-winning drive, he does it. And I don't mean to be over the top or sound egregious when I say this, but if they keep up this level of sustained success, Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni are going to become the next Reed Mahomes or Belichick Brady duo. That's how good they have been. Jalen Hurts just turned 27 years old. He has a Super Bowl ring, a Super Bowl MVP, and the other Super Bowl that he lost against Mahomes as well was maybe the best game that he's ever played. When it's all said and done, Jalen Hurts could end up being one of the best quarterbacks to ever play this game. That is how he is looking right now. He continues to improve year over year. He's a dual threat quarterback that can kill you in every single way. And no matter what people say about him, he finds ways to adapt. He's had a different offensive coordinator every single year. There is no longer anything that can be said about Jalen Hurts because he is simply a winner. His decisiveness, his deep ball, his ability to go out there and not turn the ball over, no matter what it is, he continues to get better every single time. Jalen Hurts over the first 10 quarters of the season had 2 completions on 7 passes of 10-plus air yards, and they finally fixed it. Jalen Hurts was yelling at Kevin Patullo on the sideline. Then he had 10 out of 15 passes past the sticks, 169 yards, 3 touchdowns. Well, how about when trailing? Jalen Hurts, 212 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. But for me, that now poses the biggest question that we have been asking coming into the season. Will Kevin Patullo be able to adapt as a first-time play caller and get it right with this team? And yesterday, after the Eagles won on the field in an interview, Jalen Hurts said this, quote, "We got to get out of this playing not to lose and play our game." You pair that with the fact that he was seen very vocal, right? That's another thing that's improved about his game, leadership. He's yelling at the coaches. He's yelling at the players. He's fired up. And then you hear what A.J. Brown had to say, quote, "We have so many good players. At times it feels like we're being conservative. I don't think it should be like that. Let your killers do their things, play fast, and play aggressive." So, yeah, Kevin Patullo has been exposed for not being able to call the right plays, put the guys in position to succeed. And I'm starting to think that even if Patullo was calling plays in the second half, it was Jalen Hurts who kicked him into gear and pushed him in the right direction and said, you know what? We have to do this. We have to do this. I need to get the ball to A.J. Brown. We need to send him 15, 20, 25 yards down the field. If that didn't happen, I don't think the Eagles win this game. And that just shows how advanced of a quarterback Jalen Hurts is to be able to make that call. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith combined for 16 targets in the second half, the second most in the second half since they started playing together in 2022. And I was screaming it all game long. I'm sure you were as well. What are the Eagles doing? They're getting their butts kicked because they're not utilizing all the tools in the tool bag. It feels similar to last year where Kellen Moore wouldn't run the ball and then they fixed it during the bye week. But the difference now is it's not just as easy as run the ball. It's, hey, you have to use your weapons, right? It's not like we're not passing the ball at all. We're just not sending them anywhere beyond the sticks, and it makes absolutely no sense. Jalen Hurts was asked after the game about the broadcast catching him being vocal on the sideline with Kevin Patullo. Quote, "It was a complete team effort. If it meant getting out of character given a situation, it's about doing it. Only thing we ever care about is finding a way to win the game." Again, that's all that Jalen cares about because that's all he freaking does is win games. And you look at A.J. Brown yesterday, I mean, this is crazy. 0 receptions in the first half, and he finishes with 109 yards. 18.2 yards per catch here on Next Gen Stats, 60% catch percentage. I mean, A.J. Brown is one of the most physical elusive, speedy, strong receivers, whatever you want to use to describe him. He's an all-around weapon that can absolutely obliterate cornerbacks week in and week out. That third down play that really saved the game and extended that drive, he catches the ball at the first down marker and kind of boxes out the defender and then keeps running for 15 to 20 yards. Like, he can do that every single week. And coming into this season, we talked about the defense being young. Check. Vic Fangio has them balling out. And we talked about the safety and corner position. Adoree Jackson, work in progress. Makuba looks great. And we talked about Kevin Patullo calling plays. And so far, he's been an absolute liability. And now going into next week, we are going to figure out who Kevin Patullo is. And I know the Bucs are usually a tough opponent, but looks like they're going to be banged up. And the Eagles did everything they did essentially in one half yesterday offensively. Now the Eagles know what they need to call and how they need to use their weapons to be most effective. So if Kevin Patullo goes out next week and coaches conservative, it is 100% on him. We finally got the answer here, okay? It was Kevin Patullo, not Jalen Hurts, not A.J. Brown. They want to play fast. They want to move the ball downfield. They want to go up tempo. That was a great adjustment by Patullo in the offense in the second half. But they need to replicate this, because then when you start to open up the field, that's going to open up Saquon Barkley. Teams cannot just sell out all the time and defend against Saquon. They have too many weapons to account for on the defensive side. I mean, this should be simple and easy for a guy like Patullo, who has been here for a couple of years. So we'll see how it plays out, man. But shout out to Jalen and AJ and the rest of the boys. The Eagles haven't played their best ball, and they're 3-0. And this team looks like they can go the distance again. Those are my thoughts. Give me all of yours down below. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I will catch you on the next one.